The Pittsburgh Penguins are back on another hot streak, winning 4 in a row. Hunter Hodies is here to talk about Evgeni Malkin's future and what to expect from the Penguins at the trade deadline. All that and more next on today's Locked On NHL Podcast.
You're Locked On NHL, your daily podcast on the National Hockey League. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everybody, to the Monday edition of the Locked On NHL Podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I want to thank everyone who makes Locked On NHL your first listen every day. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode, and thank you for helping to make Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. It is my pleasure to welcome back to the show the host of Locked On Penguins, Hunter Hodies. And Hunter, you know, this team has been up and down this season. Right now, it's up again, 4 wins in a row. What's been the difference between this team's good streaks and their struggles?
Yeah, so ever since the Christmas break, they're 11-2-2. They've won. So you combine the overtime losses with the regular losses. They've won 11 of 15 games, and they have surged all the way up to second place in the Metropolitan Division, 4 points ahead of the New York Islanders. I still can't believe it, Gil, that there's a legit chance that this team not only makes the playoffs, but potentially gets home ice in the first round. I mean, we were talking about this team not being very good going into this season, and they have the nobody believes in us mentality, and it's gone a long way. But just over the last month, I've loved the way they have defended, especially in their own zone. It's been so much better. The zone exits are a lot cleaner. They're taking away a lot of the high danger areas. The goaltending, I think, has also been a lot better. Stuart Skinner over the last month continues to play so well for the Penguins ever since coming over from Edmonton. You know, this was someone who had been very up and down as the Oilers starting goaltender, but I think now he's in a new environment, in a situation where, you know, there's not as much pressure because the Penguins, they're not in win now mode compared to the Oilers. I think he's feasting off that a little bit. And again, he's just in a better overall environment. And he made a lot of big saves tonight, especially against the Canucks, one of which was the Lidstrom save that Marc-Andre Fleury made back in 2009. It was really fun to see that come about. But they're also getting all the depth scoring, and Evgeni Malkin has also been fantastic since coming back. So all of that, plus the special teams, the fourth line's been great. This entire team is humming right now, Gil.
What are they doing differently on defense that's leading to these better zone exits and this better overall defensive play?
They're keeping things very simple, keeping things to the outside. They're not trying to play a lot of run and gun hockey that you would see them play under Mike Sullivan. And sure, that it still comes out at times. I mean, that it's going to when you're the Pittsburgh Penguins and you have the firepower that they still have. But when you see them committed to playing full team defense for a full 60 minutes, it's really nice to watch. I mean, there have been numerous games this month where I'm like, yep, that is the blueprint. It got started against the Red Wings earlier in the month where they defended a third period lead like it was 2016 and 2017, just textbook suffocation. And they've done that in a lot of games after that. So I really think, you know, that's a big part of it. Just their ability to block shots, keep teams to the outside, allowing either goaltender to really see these chances. It's been really nice. And they've also been really good in transition as well. So a lot of things leading to the overall better defensive play.
Evgeni Malkin this week came out and said he'd like to come back for one more season. I haven't heard anything that says the Penguins would say no. Where do you see this going? Is it one more year? How much money do you think he'll get? And is it a lock that Evgeni Malkin is back as a Penguin next season?
It should be a lock. I mean, he's been a point per game player when he's been healthy this season. He's been great since coming back from his shoulder injury, though it looked like he dinged it up a little bit at the end of the game. Hopefully it's not anything too serious. He's been playing on the wing, Gil, because I think he's still a bit banged up. That's why you're not really seeing him take faceoffs right now. I think once he hopefully gets that shoulder a bit healthier, he'll be back to playing center and all that good stuff. But it should be a lock. This should be a 1-year contract. He's already said he's open to taking a pay cut. If you do $5 to $5.5 million with a no move clause, boom, that should get it done for one more season. His representatives, especially his agent JP Barry, is expected to meet with Kyle Dubas during the Olympic break, which is going to start here in a couple of weeks. I would personally be surprised if we don't have news about that during the break. I think they're going to extend him, and rightfully so.
And as far as how concerned are you, and I don't think it would be too concerned, but how concerned are you that right now it's Crosby and Malkin, two guys who are nearing the end of their careers, who are leading this team in scoring?
I'm not really too concerned at all. It's what I expected, honestly. I mean, Sid's doing his thing, Gil. He's going to have a point per game season once again, unless God forbid he gets hurt or anything like that. But I mean, he's on pace to continue that streak. He's been fantastic all season. Evgeni Malkin, yeah, I know he's 39 years old, but he's been awesome. Even when he's been out of the lineup and he's come back in, he's skating better than he has in, I would say, 3 to 4 years. So I'm not really too concerned just because of the way they're playing overall. And they're also getting a lot of help in the lineup. Ben Kindle, I think, has been really good as the team's third line center. Brazeau and Anthony Mantha on the third line have been great. Igor Chinikov has been fantastic since coming over from Columbus. So they're both getting help. I haven't even mentioned the fourth line that much. The fourth line has been awesome so far. So yeah, they're leading them in scoring. I will throw Erik Karlsson in there too. He's been great this season. But again, safe to say they're getting a lot of help this year, which has been huge.
We're just a couple of weeks away from the Olympic break. Then there'll probably be a flurry of trades right before it. Then just a week and a half until the actual trade deadline. What are the Penguins looking to do? Because the standings are so tight. They're kind of playing with house money this year in one way, but in another way, you want to get Malkin and Crosby another shot at a cup. What do you expect this team to do?
See, I don't think they're going to do too much. You're not going to see a full sell-off like you saw last season unless they fully collapse going into the deadline, but I'd be surprised, especially with the way that they're playing right now and where they are in the standings. I think if they continue their play, I think you might see a soft buy as a way to reward the team. Like, hey, you guys are doing really well. Here's a player that can help down the stretch. Preferably on the back end, I would like someone that can play potentially top 4 minutes on the blue line, at least as a long-term option. I like Kulak with Letang. I don't think he's going to come back after this year. Wotherspoon only has 1 year left on his contract after this year. I would like to personally get someone else that can play on that side. So that's what I'd be looking for. I still assume they're going to get calls on some of their pending UFAs, including Anthony Mantha, who has 16 goals this year. But I think that's going to be a situation at this point where you'd really have to wow Kyle Dubas with a trade return. If they were a lot lower in the standings, I think it'd be a full-on guarantee that he would get moved. But with the way the team is going, you just don't want to, break up that chemistry that a lot of these guys have. So I don't think they're going to do too much, Gil, but if I had to pick as of right now, I think it'll be a soft buy as a reward.
Now, with the pending UFAs, are these guys that they're just going to let go for nothing, or are they going to try to re-sign some of these guys? And who fits into which category?
Some of them, with Anthony Mantha, I don't think they're going to re-sign him after the year that he's having, just because I think it's going to cost too much money, and I think someone could potentially give him a little bit of term there as well. I think Connor Dewar has a good chance of being re-signed. He's been a really key cog on that fourth line this season. Blake Lizotte was just re-signed. Noah Chari is also a pending UFA, but I would be surprised if he was brought back in his mid-30s. I just don't think he really fits the timeline for where the team wants to go. I think he's been really, very good this year. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think they're going to want to bring him back. And I already discussed Mantha, Kevin Hayes. They're not going to bring him back. Either discussed Evgeni Malkin as well. So those are the main ones in terms of bringing back versus, letting them walk into free agency. This team is going to have a boatload of cap space heading into the offseason for, I think, a flurry of moves. I think they're going to be pretty busy.
And then as far as additions are concerned, you think they're looking for more long-term additions, or do you think they're looking at rental type players?
Long-term additions. I just don't think they're in the market right now for, the big rentals like Artemi Panarin. Gil, you're not going to be moving a first-round pick for him, nor should you, with where the Penguins are right now. I think if they're making a move at the deadline, it's trying to, get someone with term, like a hockey deal type trade. You're not sending out a lot of your top prospects or picks like Colorado will or something like that. It's going to be for a hockey type trade where you can try to bring in some more younger players if possible that can be on this team for the foreseeable future. I didn't even bring up the goalies as pending UFAs. Those will also be decisions they have to make as well with Skinner and Shilovs, because Murashov is coming and Blomqvist is also coming as well. So those are two pretty big decisions to make there. But yeah, I think that's what they're going to be looking for their, their deadline strategy overall.
And what are they willing to give up?
That's the question. They have still so many picks, so I wouldn't be surprised if they gave up, a pick or two. I don't think it's going to be their first round pick unless it's someone that is really on the team for quite a while. It's not going to be for a rental, but I still think, a second down the line, maybe a third, a fourth, just anything along those lines, and maybe a prospect or two that they're not too big on. Honestly, I don't think, someone like Harrison Brunick is going to be moved. Obviously not to Ben Kindle. I don't think Bill Zonin is getting moved, or Will Horkoff, but maybe, a tier below that potentially. So they're still building this thing up, Gil.
All right, Hunter, why don't you tell our viewers and our listeners where they could find the podcast and where they could find you on social media?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Hunter Hodies. You can follow the show's Twitter at LO_Penguins. You can also follow the show's Instagram at LockedOn_Penguins. And you can follow the show wherever you get your podcasts: Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, all those other platforms.
All right, Hunter, thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Today's episode is brought to you by Indeed. If you've ever hired someone who looked good on paper but wasn't the right fit, you know how important that can be. But when you want candidates who truly match what you're looking for, trust Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed Sponsored Jobs puts your post at the top of the page and helps you reach the right candidates faster. Sponsored Jobs boost your post to the people who are the best match for your role, and that makes a real difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed are 90% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. So spend more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with less stress, less time, and more results using Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help give your job the premium placement it deserves at Indeed.com/lockedon. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed.